Hey, welcome into Brack Reacts. This is episode 82. Thing number one, please subscribe, because if we get to 800 subscribers, I'm going to give away some more comic books, and Ramona's going to get to watch another movie. I know I haven't posted her movie for 500 subscribers or 6 or 7, but trust me, I'll get to it. Thing two, it's February, so that means we're watching another movie my wife is making me watch, and it's another Jane Austen movie. My wife said, how are you going to react to this movie when you've already read the book? Well, I remember absolutely nothing about the book. I've read Northanger Abbey. I've read Pride and Prejudice. I've watched the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice miniseries 7 times. So it's 5 hours long, so that's 35 hours of my life watching that miniseries. I've been to Bath to visit some of the places that Jane Austen may have been to. I've been to the Jane Austen Museum in Bath. I've been to Jane Austen's home in Chawton. I saw a little table that she probably wrote some of this stuff on. You and I watched Sense and Sensibility. You and I watched Persuasion. Anyway, got some iron brew, ready to go.
A family of 10 children, of course.
10 kids? Wow.
And arms and legs enough for the number. But the Morlands were in general
I
very
only count
plain.
8 kids.
And Catherine...
She's quite a good-looking girl. But she's almost pretty today.
She's almost pretty.
And she's grown very fond of reading of late.
Hey, what's wrong with reading?
Now, what could be a more innocent or harmless pastime for a young girl than reading?
She might read some of that Anne Radcliffe junk.
Dragging behind him a beautiful girl, her features bathed in tears and suffering the utmost distress.
Take her! Don't be nowhere, I shall never see her more.
Kathy, what are you doing?
Reading?
For a gouty constitution like Mr. Allen's.
No other place will do so well for...
Mr. and Mrs. Allen come with an invitation, Catherine.
Okay.
We would like you to accompany us to Bath for...
To Bath? I've been there. She has a vivid imagination. Hey.
There's a little peach that's ripe for plucking.
Wow.
I did bring my best frock, and my pink muslin is not too bad, I think.
That will never do.
Would you have us laughed out of Bath?
Yeah.
Resign yourself, Catherine. Shops must be visited. Money must be spent.
Yeah.
Do you think you could bear it?
You have to go shopping.
Very easily, sir.
Did you ever see anything prettier, Mr. Allen?
Other than
yeah, you-
yourself, do you mean, my dear?
Oh, fine, Mr. Allen. But Catherine...
Ah, she looks just as she should.
She's almost pretty.
If I might just...
Okay, we're 8 minutes into it already, and she hasn't fallen in love with anyone.
Pardon me, miss.
Yeah, he's creepy. Is everyone in Bath creepy?
I should have guessed.
Do you understand muslins, sir?
I understand them very well.
What do you think of Miss Morland's gown?
Miss
It is almost pretty.
How can you be so...
Presumptuous. Indeed.
Hey, she's Jyn Erso from Rogue One. The least crappy of the modern Star Wars.
I'm Jyn Erso, daughter of Galen and Lyra. You've lost.
Oh, I have I?
My father's revenge. He built a flaw in the Death Star. He put a fuse in the middle of your machine, and I've just told the entire galaxy how to light it.
Spoiler alert, Jyn Erso dies in the end.
As a stranger. But he
Right.
had such an understanding of muslin.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder where he's gone.
To buy more muslin.
Might I request the pleasure of the next dance with you?
With me.
Do it. Do it.
Thank you.
How long have you been in Bath, madam?
About 10 minutes.
And have you been to the play?
Not yet, sir.
Astonishing.
Have you been to the Roman baths and had a drink of the sulfur water? It's disgusting.
Now I must give you one smirk, and then we can be rational again.
He's a bit silly. Who's this fellow? He looks like one of the shapeshifters from the X-Files.
As your executioner, I show you my true face before I kill you.
Do you know that gentleman?
Oh yes, he's a shapeshifter.
Bright muslin dress with blue trimmings. Looked very pretty, though I say so myself.
Almost pretty.
Perhaps I don't keep a journal at all.
Dear Diary, I met a twit today. He was a handsome twit, but a twit nonetheless. Oh, there she goes, reading books again.
Mrs. Thorpe, your brother James told me to look out for you.
Oh, okay.
You know James? Indeed we do. He's up at...
We call him Jimmy.
How do you do, Miss Morland? I've so long wished to meet you. Your brother has...
What's she been in?
I am sure that we will be the very best of friends.
Don't trust her. Don't do it.
So please do love Mrs. Radcliffe novels too. I wish I were you. Just begin.
Don't read that Anne Radcliffe trash.
One incident to whet your appetite.
Scandalous. In the loo?
My brother John says the whole family is very bad. The eldest son as bad as Lord Byron, John says.
Ew.
Surely he's mistaken.
Insufferable.
Everyone in Bath is creepy.
Odious carriages, I detest him.
Wait till there's cars.
Thorpe's idea, and when I remembered you were here, and
He looks kind of like Mr. Bean.
I'm very happy to see you again.
And I you.
Oh, Timmy, I'm happy to meet you.
And are you? What? Was that enough words? Yes.
I hope I may have the pleasure of dancing with you myself before too long.
We were just walking towards Edgar's building.
Penny for your thoughts, Miss Morland.
I was just...
I'll give you a shilling.
Have you ever read Udolpho, Mr. Thorpe?
Rodolphe, Lord. No, I never read novels. I leave all that to Isabella. I read The Monk the other day, no?
Monk?
I read The Monk.
As too
It was
shocking as
crazy.
everybody says.
Yes.
Borrow it if you care to.
She reads a lot.
Allow me to introduce
My sister.
my sister.
I knew it.
Very happy to meet you, Miss Tilney.
And are you?
Hi, Russell. It's nice to see you again.
And I you.
Gage lodgings for us. He only stayed the one night. Oh, I see.
Why does everyone in this movie look familiar to me?
He's very amusing. Yes, he is, when he cares to be.
He's a silly twit.
That's our father, General Tilney.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
In that case, shall we say tomorrow at 12, unless it rains?
All right, tomorrow at midnight.
You simply must hear this. Come quickly.
It's a joke called The Aristocrats. Do it.
Then
Go. Go.
Perhaps I should come with you.
Yeah.
Please, Miss Morland.
Do it.
Stop! Stop now! It's Miss Tilney and her brother!
There'd be hell to pay if I tried to stop him.
Jump. Jump out.
The whole family has a terrible reputation. Something very strange about the mother's death.
You can't
What?
mean...
We must be careful when making new acquaintances. We're not all as honest as you and I.
Okay, in this movie, I trust no one. Sheep. Making me hungry.
Clear up in no time. Thorpe, we better go back. Your sister thinks so too. We're not halfway to...
Okay, now the sheep are making me sleepy.
Lord, what would the men think if they could see us now?
Hello.
Do you know he told me he liked you better than any girl he had ever seen?
Oh, really?
And he thinks you're the prettiest girl in Bath.
He's wrong. She's almost pretty.
Now, how far you got on with Udolpho? I've just got to the Black Veil.
The Black Veil. Well, I wouldn't tell you what's behind it, not for the world. And when you've finished it, you will read The Monk. That's my brother's favourite.
I've already read it.
Yes, he spoke of it. Is it really very horrid?
It is the most horrid, shocking thing in all the...
Well, not that shocking.
She was undressing to bathe herself, and the amorous monk had full opportunity to observe the voluptuous contours and admirable symmetry of her person as she drew off her last garment. At this moment, a tame linnet flew towards her, nestled its head between her breasts, and nibbled them in wanton play. Ambrosio could bear no more. The blood boiled in his veins, and a raging fire rushed through his limbs. "I must possess her," he cried.
Damn fine-looking woman. When the old man pops off, she'll be one of the richest women in the country.
Obliged to.
Hey, it's the Onion Knight.
If we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die. And then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
And it's just as Mrs. Radcliffe describes it in Udolpho.
Ah, Mrs. Radcliffe.
But I suppose you don't read novels.
I read it.
I do remember she was obsessed with Anne Radcliffe's book. The British are coming! The British are coming!
You're expected. Mom, come, let's walk on.
I'm not your mom.
Catherine? No, sit down.
I was sitting down.
Your brother has made me the happiest girl on earth. I told him his love was returned.
Splendid!
I believe I've been in love with your friend since the first time I set eyes on her.
And
She's real purty.
A famous good thing, this marrying scheme. What do you think of it?
Marriage is a
I
scam.
think it's a very good thing, too.
I'm so
That's a
pleased
joke.
to hear you
I don't mean that.
Did you ever hear the old song, "Going to one wedding brings on another"?
Can't say I've heard of it.
I shall think of you when I'm in town. Come on, James, we must tear ourselves away.
If that's your way of asking her to marry you, that's a horrible way of doing it.
Your brother would still be my only choice.
Aw, she's in love.
Allow me to introduce my brother, Captain Tony.
He's handsome. He's a jerk.
Don't let...
You're engaged, lady.
Do you think your friend might dance with me?
I know for certain that she has a very particular reason not to dance tonight.
Is that so?
I'll take that as a challenge.
Why are you smiling?
Look there.
Because I just saw a lady twerking.
I don't wonder at your surprise.
You're dancing with that guy and you're engaged.
Possibly could. I am in love with the best man in the whole world.
Sure you are. Help me.
My parents have consented.
Yes. Your father has been very...
Yeah, but I don't want to marry him anymore.
But Mr. Allen, I was sure, would do something for James. Perhaps he does not approve of his choice of bride.
Why should
What?
Mr. Allen do
Yeah,
anything
why would
for
he
James?
do anything?
None of us has any expectations from Mr. Allen.
I do. I'm greedy.
My dear, sweet Catherine, you know I care nothing for money.
I just talk about it all the time.
How will I endure it?
Stop whining. Grow up.
Can you, Miss Morland, be prevailed on to quit this scene of public triumph and oblige us with your company at Northanger Abbey?
Northanger Abbey.
Yes, that's the name of the movie.
I should be delighted to accept.
I heard from him today that you and he are as good as engaged.
What?
Indeed, we are
That's
not.
not true.
Useless to... He says he as good as made you an offer.
If that was an offer, that was horribly done.
Not on my side.
And if no one were allowed to change their minds, where would we all be?
Because you're going to change your mind about James.
I wouldn't have this happen for the world. Look away, perhaps he's not seen us. My spirit, you know, is pretty independent.
I wish your heart were independent. That would be enough for me.
This is inappropriate.
Will you come, Isabella?
You go.
But I'm talking to the handsome
And
man.
tell them I'll follow.
1,000 pardons for our late arrival. My eldest son must bear the blame. He stays on in Bath. Now.
I know what your eldest son's doing. He's with my friend Isabella. He's an awkward sort. Over here is where I buried the bodies.
Now, look there.
Wow. Can I live there?
Is Northanger haunted then?
Well, that's just the least of it. Dungeons and sliding panels, skeletons, strange, unearthly cries.
And you can't imagine the taxes we have to pay on it.
But I've also say there is a kind of vampirism.
Is it a salt vampire like in Star Trek?
Miss Morland, welcome to Northanger Abbey.
All right, we're an hour into the movie and we're finally at Northanger Abbey. Be careful, there's Narnia in there. This one. You use this one.
No doubt the rooms at Mr. Allen's are exactly the true size for rational happiness.
He's weird. Gazpacho. I want to be in a creepy old castle while there's thunder and lightning. That'd be awesome.
Oh, boy.
What's this trash?
No, leave them, please.
Fine. I can't read anyway.
We never go there. It is my father's wish.
But to see her picture.
Yes.
There's plenty of her pictures on Instagram.
What do you do there?
We're not going to Mom's room.
Going to show Miss.
Here I am.
P.S. Enclosed you will find plans for the Death Star. If this was Sense and Sensibility, she'd have an accident. Why, you're almost pretty.
Northanger Abbey would make a very good title, don't you think?
Yes, quite.
We shall have to make an advantageous match. My sister is not.
Why does his mic sound muffled?
I always hoped I'd be lucky. The girl I fell in love with would come with a fortune attached.
If she should not?
Then forget about her. Do not enter! Okay, if you're visiting someone's house and they say, don't go in that room, then don't go in that room. Jump scare. Jump scare. What are you doing in my mom's room?
And so you thought you'd come and see it for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Young lady, you messed up.
I suppose Eleanor has talked to you about our mother.
Yes.
She was murdered right here in this very room.
You said yourself the house was full of secrets.
And so you decided that my father must be a murderer?
Well, I read a lot.
What sort of a fevered imagination must you have?
You gotta stop reading all those books.
Perhaps, after all, it is possible to read too many novels.
Yeah, says Jane Austen. I messed up big time. The man I love hates me.
No, it is my brother's handwriting.
Dear Catherine, my fiance's run off with that Tilney guy.
It's just
Just what I feared. Oh, poor James, he loved her so much.
And she's a trollop.
Catherine, your friend has dealt very badly with your brother. But I fear she is far out of her depth with mine.
He follows the Wickham school of dating.
And are we engaged?
No. We just had a one-night stand.
Make yourself decent, Miss Thorpe. I must return you to your friends before you're missed.
I've made a horrible mistake.
Job was having second thoughts about the relationship.
I've made a huge mistake.
But when Job recommitted to her...
I've made a huge mistake.
You will write to him and set everything right. He is the only man I ever did or could love, and I know you will convince him of it.
Liar.
Henry has the best and truest heart in the world.
Does he? Does he really? Like I say, I don't trust anybody in this movie. Okay, maybe Catherine.
My father insists on your leaving immediately.
Poor Catherine. Alright, we're gonna leave you here all alone in the middle of the night. Good luck.
He found us a chair, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he understands muslin ever so well.
That's greatly to his credit.
Well, yeah, if you understand muslin, you're a good person.
What else would you like to hear about?
What games did you play?
We played Halo.
I Spy and charades.
Was Mr. Tilney very handsome, Kathy?
No, he's quite hideous.
Do you love Mr. Tilney, Kathy?
Of course not.
No.
Don't talk such nonsense.
What did you do to make them send you home, Kathy? Did you do something very naughty?
Yes, I used the wrong spoon at dinner.
Kathy?
What? I'm trying to go to bed. People keep interrupting me.
I did love him. I do love him.
Really? You loved that guy? Really?
Go and tell Mama that Mr. Tilney is here.
Mr. Tilney?
Oh, Mr. Tilney!
Or thought that could justify the way you have been treated.
But you...
I see the strings holding her up.
But that is long past.
See the strings holding her up.
Our mother did suffer grievously and at the hands of our father. Do you remember I spoke of a kind of vampirism?
Yeah.
But we did watch him drain the life out of her with his coldness and his cruelty. He married her for her money, you see. She thought it was for love. No vampires, no blood.
Any friends of our children are welcome here.
Very good.
Except for Fred.
Are Mr. and Mrs. Allen now at Fullerton?
They are, sir.
Have they got any money they can give me?
Pay my respects. Perhaps Miss Morland might show me the way.
But you can see their house from the window.
Hush, Lucy.
I thought you were so angry with me you told him what you knew, which would have justified any discourtesy.
No. The discourtesy was all his. I fear I may never be a rich man, Catherine.
Please, go on with what you were going to say.
Will you marry me, Catherine?
No, no, I shan't.
Yes, I will. Yes.
To begin,
Well, they kissed quicker than the last two Jane Austen movies.
whether the tendency of this story be to recommend parental tyranny or reward filial disobedience.
All right. The last words of the movie are the last words in the book. All right, it was pretty good. Like, I read the book, but I didn't remember much from it, but halfway through the movie, I kind of was getting it, kind of came back to me. Before I give my rating, here's a word from our sponsor. Exertion. Would I watch it again? Probably. Would I recommend that you watch it? Sure. I didn't like it as much as Persuasion or Sense and Sensibility. I'm going to give it, out of 10 Gothic novels, I'll give it 6.5. 6.5 Gothic novels out of 10. That's all I got. I'll see you next time.
Vampires? Don't say vampires. I could bear anything but not vampires.